Hello and welcome to Hoi4 101, where today we will be talking about the tank designer and what to keep in mind when designing a tank. If you want to know what the different combat stats that we will be talking about in this video means, you should check out the video I made for division stats. Be aware that this is a DLC feature from No Step Back, so if you don't have the DLC, you cannot make your own tank designs. Firstly, every tank module is locked behind different techs, where chassis and some accessories are in the tank sections, while guns are in the artillery section, and some other equipments are combined with other techs, like easy maintenance, being under the maintenance companies too. To design a tank, we need to go into the production screen and find chassis, then we can start adding components. Every tank needs a gun, turret, suspension, and armor scheme. The gun is the primary weapon and the main source for attack. Here it's all about finding the gun that gives you the stat you need for the cheapest price. The gun is also what decides which designation you can make the tank. So for example, if you want an SPG, you need to have a close support gun or a howitzer. These designations come with different modifiers for the stats on the tank, meaning that if you want the extra soft attack that an SPG gives you, you will lose a lot of breakthrough. The turret is quite interesting, as there are limits to what turret you can have on what chassis, and there are limits to what gun can be in which turret. A light tank chassis can only have a light turret, while a medium can have both light and medium, and heavy can have all three. Same limitations work for the gun, so a medium gun must be placed in a medium turret or larger. The exception is the fixed superstructure for each size, which allows a heavier gun than normal turrets, but it limits the tank designation to an SPG or SPAT. Suspensions are pretty easy, where there are a few different types that give different bonuses. Bogey is cheap, Torsion is reliable, Interlead gives breakthrough, and Christine gives speed. This is a nice way of specializing your tank to its needs, so if you are going to make a fast tank, then Christine suspension is a good starting point. There are two more hidden suspensions that are only available to light tanks, which are wheeled and half tracks. These reduce production cost, but also hardness and reliability. For armor, there are three different types: riveted, welded, and cast. Riveted adds nothing, but do reduce the production price by 20%, so it's a good way of reducing the price of an expensive tank if you don't need the extra armor. Welded on the other hand says it gives 40% extra armor, but that's only applied to the base armor, meaning it will give the same amount of armor for a particular chassis, no matter if it has 20 or 100 armor. As an example, in the case of the basic medium, which has 35 base armor, it gives 14 armor. Same goes for cast as well, which gives 50% increase to base armor for an extra 20% overall production cost. This means riveted are most efficient on expensive tanks, while welded are most efficient on later chassis with more base armor, while cast is only something you use if you have unlimited production. Next up, we have these two buttons here. These are the engine and armor upgrades. Increasing these gives more stats in their respective category, but increase cost and reduce reliability. Note that armor also reduce speed and increase breakthrough as well. The slowest test speed a tank can have is 4 km an hour, so if you have too much armor, you will have to add more engine to compensate. Then there are other accessories. There are three categories: secondary turrets, radios, and special modules. The secondary turret gives some extra attack and breakthrough, but are very expensive and reduce reliability. These are very seldom worth it, and in my opinion should only be used for roleplay if you want to make the T-35 monster. In special modules there are more interesting stuff. Here you can find stuff to add armor, breakthrough, attack, defense, reliability, and more. Everything has some sort of a cost, but it varies a lot. There are a few things to notice here in particular. The sloped armor has an increased percentage cost and a percentage modifier to base armor, meaning it's most efficient on a cheap tank with high base armor. Extra ammunition storage adds a decent amount of breakthrough for nothing but reliability. So it's very good to add if you have reliability above 100, as everything above 100 is treated the same. Another noteworthy module is the easy maintenance, which does not cost any production to add, only 10 army XP, meaning that if you are not starved for army XP, this is a good way to compensate for an extra ammunition storage without any extra cost. As for the rest, it's all about what you are trying to achieve with your tanks and balance stats versus production. Radios are percentage increases for breakthrough and defense. This is applied to the total number rather than the base value, meaning they are by far the most cost-effective equipment on a tank with lots of breakthrough. As an example, the likes of a stabilizer adds a static 5 breakthrough for 2.5 cost, while the advanced radio can add a lot more for the same cost. Lastly, I would like to say that a good tank design is not necessarily the biggest and baddest tank, but rather the tank that gives the stats you need for the role that you're using them for, meaning that if you are going to have your tank operate with infantry, then it is a waste to make them go fast, as they will be limited by the speed of the infantry. In my experience, the best tank is often the cheapest tank. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe for more content like this.